Ever wondered how to perfectly season and fry chicken? Well, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into the heart of this classic culinary skill today. It's all about getting that balance just right between the savory seasonings and the sizzling fry. When done correctly, it can transform a simple chicken dinner into a delightful feast that leaves everyone asking for more. So let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Stick around to learn the secrets of frying chicken to perfection. The first step to perfect fried chicken starts at the grocery store. It's essential to choose a high-quality, fresh chicken. You might be wondering, how can I tell if a chicken is fresh? Well, fresh chicken should have a pinkish hue, and the skin should be free from blemishes or bruises. It should also have a mild scent, not a strong or off-putting one. Now let's talk about chicken cuts. You have a variety of options, each with their unique qualities. Chicken breasts are lean and substantial, perfect for those who prefer white meat. Thighs and legs, on the other hand, are richer in flavor and tend to stay juicy even after frying. Wings are smaller, but they offer a delightful crunch with every bite. And let's not forget the whole chicken, which provides a mix of all these cuts. Remember, the quality of your chicken directly impacts the outcome of your dish. Now that you've got your chicken, let's talk about the real flavor game changer: seasoning. Seasoning is the unsung hero in the world of cooking. It's the secret weapon that can transform any meal from bland to grand. It's not just about making your food taste salty or spicy, it's about enhancing the natural flavors and creating a symphony of taste that dances on your palate. There are countless types of seasonings out there, each with their own unique flavor profile. Salt is the most basic form of seasoning, and it's a crucial one. It has the ability to bring out the natural flavors of the chicken. But remember, a little goes a long way. Too much salt, and you'll end up with a dish that's unpalatable. Pepper is another staple. It adds a bit of heat and a hint of sharpness that can really elevate the taste of the chicken. And then there are herbs and spices like rosemary, thyme, paprika, and garlic powder. These can add depth and complexity to the flavor of your dish. Now let's talk about marinades. They're a type of seasoning that involves soaking the chicken in a mixture of spices, herbs, and liquids like oil, vinegar, or citrus juice. This not only imparts flavor but also tenderizes the chicken, making it juicy and succulent. But here's the thing about seasoning: it's not one size fits all. The type and amount of seasoning you use can drastically change the taste of your chicken. That's why it's important to experiment and find what works for you. Don't be afraid to play around with different combinations of herbs and spices. You might just stumble upon a flavor profile that's uniquely yours. Remember, good seasoning is about balance. You want to enhance the flavor of the chicken, not overpower it. So go easy on the seasoning at first. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. With the right seasoning, you can turn ordinary chicken into a flavorful delight. Ready to season? Here's how you do it. Now, seasoning is an art, and a well-seasoned chicken is the heart of a delicious dish. The first step is to ensure your chicken is clean and dry. Pat it down with a paper towel to remove any excess moisture. This helps the seasoning stick better. Next, let's talk about the spices. A basic combination would be salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. These three create a flavorful base. The salt brings out the natural flavors of the chicken, while the black pepper adds a little kick, and the garlic powder lends a savory note. For each pound of chicken, you'd want about a half teaspoon of each of these. Now, if you're feeling adventurous and want to jazz up your chicken a bit, consider adding some paprika for a smoky touch, or some cayenne pepper for a spicy kick. A little bit of thyme or rosemary can also add a wonderful aroma. Once you've got your spices ready, it's time to season. Sprinkle the seasoning evenly over the chicken. Then, using your hands, rub the spices into the chicken, making sure every part is covered. Don't forget the inside of the chicken if you're seasoning a whole bird. After the chicken is well coated, let it rest. This allows the flavors to penetrate the meat. Ideally, you'd want to let it marinate in the fridge for at least an hour, but if you're short on time, even 20 minutes can make a difference. Remember, seasoning is all about personal preference. Don't be afraid to experiment with different spice combinations until you find your favorite. And if you're ever unsure, just remember the golden rule of seasoning. It's easier to add more later than to take away too much. And there you have it, perfectly seasoned chicken ready for frying. Before we dive into frying, let's set up our frying station. The heart of our frying operation is, of course, the fryer. Whether you use a dedicated deep fryer or a trusty skillet, it's crucial to have a vessel that holds heat well and provides plenty of space for your chicken. Cast iron, stainless steel, or heavy-duty aluminum are all excellent choices. Next up, you'll need oil. The type of oil you choose can add a subtle flavor to the chicken. Canola oil, peanut oil, or vegetable oil are all great options. They have a high smoke point, which is perfect for frying chicken. Remember, the oil should be enough to submerge the chicken pieces completely. Now, let's talk about temperature control. A candy or deep fry thermometer is your best friend here. It's essential to maintain the right temperature while frying. Too low, and your chicken will be greasy. Too high, and it'll burn before it's cooked through. Aim for between 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll also need a slotted spoon or a pair of tongs to gently lower the chicken into the hot oil and retrieve it once it's perfectly golden brown. And don't forget a wire rack or paper towels to drain off excess oil after frying. With your frying station ready, you're all set to start frying. Now comes the fun part, frying the chicken. Every good cook knows that frying chicken is both an art and a science. It's about maintaining the right balance between heat and time to ensure that the chicken is cooked all the way through without burning the outside. To start, you'll need to fill a deep skillet or frying pan about halfway with oil. The type of oil you use can greatly affect the taste of your chicken. Personally, I prefer peanut oil for its high smoke point and neutral flavor. But you can also use canola or vegetable oil if that's what you have on hand. Now, turn on the stove and heat the oil to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. A cooking thermometer is a handy tool for this. If you don't have one, you can test the temperature by dropping a small piece of bread into the oil. If it sizzles and browns in about a minute, your oil is ready. Once your oil is at the right temperature, it's time to add the chicken. Carefully place each piece into the oil, using tongs to avoid any splashing. Make sure not to overcrowd the pan, as this can lower the temperature of the oil and lead to uneven cooking. Now here's where patience comes into play. Each side of the chicken should fry for about 10 to 12 minutes. Yes, it might seem like a long time, but trust me, the wait is worth it. This slow and steady approach ensures that the chicken is thoroughly cooked, and the outside is beautifully golden and crispy. Halfway through, turn the chicken pieces over to ensure they cook evenly. Keep a close eye on the oil's temperature, adjusting the heat as necessary to maintain that perfect 350 degrees. Once your chicken is fried to perfection, carefully remove each piece from the oil using tongs and let them rest on a wire rack or paper towel-lined plate. This step is crucial, as it allows the excess oil to drain off, leaving you with crispy, non-greasy chicken. Take a moment to admire your handiwork. The golden brown crust, the tantalizing aroma. It's enough to make anyone's mouth water. And voila, you've got yourself some perfectly fried chicken. Remember, the secret to great fried chicken lies not only in the seasoning, but also in the frying process. So don't rush it. Take your time, follow these steps, and you'll be rewarded with the most delicious, crispy, and juicy fried chicken you've ever tasted. Frying can be fun, but it's also important to stay safe. While the sizzle and pop of hot oil can be music to a cook's ears, it's also a reminder that we're dealing with high temperatures and potential hazards. So let's talk about some safety tips to keep in mind while frying. First off, keep water well away from your frying station. Oil and water don't mix, especially when the oil is hot. Introducing water to hot oil can cause it to splatter, which can lead to burns. If you need to move around liquids, make sure they're safely away from the frying pan. Next, always use long-handled utensils. This gives you a safe distance from the hot oil while you're frying. It's an easy way to prevent accidental burns and keep control over your cooking. Also, never leave your frying unattended. It's easy for oil to overheat and potentially cause a fire if it's not monitored. If you need to step away, turn off the heat. And finally, have a fire extinguisher handy. It's a precaution we hope you'll never need, but it's better to be prepared. Remember, oil fires can't be put out with water, so having an extinguisher specifically designed for grease fires is essential. Remember, safety first, then you can enjoy your delicious fried chicken. And there you have it, the perfect way to season and fry chicken. We've journeyed together through the selection of the right chicken, understanding the importance of seasoning, and then dived into the actual seasoning process. We've set up our frying stations and learned the art of frying chicken to golden brown perfection, all the while keeping safety at the forefront. Remember, the key to a delicious, crispy chicken lies in the seasoning, so don't skimp on those spices. And when it comes to frying, patience is the secret. The chicken cooks slowly and steadily to ensure it's cooked through and crispy on the outside. Trust in the process and in your newfound skills. With practice, you'll find your own rhythm and techniques that work best for you. Ultimately, it's about creating something delicious that you and your loved ones can enjoy. Next time you're craving fried chicken, go ahead and make it yourself. You're now a pro at this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more delicious recipes and cooking tips.